Up there on the edge of the solar system, when time slows and gravity pulls a little harder, there's Saturn, the ancient lord of limitation, the keeper of time, the old god of discipline and karma. And if you've ever looked closely or seen any images, you'd see something strange at its North Pole. Something that doesn't make sense in normal physics. A six-sided vortex, a perfect hexagon. Not a blurry shape, not a maybe, but a clean geometric storm that doesn't change. Doesn't shift or dissolve, it holds. And that's weird because nature doesn't usually do straight lines like that. Not on that scale. And yet there it is, spinning silently in deep space. A hexagon at the top of the planet that every mystery school, every secret society, and every esoteric system has tied to the god of time and law, and death and restriction. And then you start seeing it everywhere. Not just the hexagon, but what it points to. The cube, the black cube. The three-dimensional form hidden in two. And suddenly, you're not just looking at a planet, you're looking at a symbol. A frequency, a pattern that repeats across ancient ritual, modern architecture, and spiritual metaphysics. Because Saturn isn't just a planet, it's an archetype. A force, a teacher. And the cube, that's its altar, its throne, its containment field, representing form, density, material reality, this 3D world we're locked in, born into, shaped by. And when you look at ancient Mecca, what's at the center? A black cube. When you study Jewish mysticism, what's on the forehead during prayer? A tefillin, a black cube. When you study Gnosticism, you find Saturn as the demiurge, the blind architect of the material prison, and the cube becomes the cell, the cage, the illusion of permanence. And then you see it in corporate logos, in city layouts, and the way skyscrapers form modern altars to the false gods of finance and order and synthetic progress. And maybe, just maybe, this isn't coincidence but design, because occult Saturn worship isn't about bowing to a statue. It's about obeying the invisible laws that keep humanity bound. Time, debt, fear, structure, shame, karma, twisted into control. And yet Saturn isn't evil, not in itself. It's a mirror, a crucible, a system that either crushes or awakens you, depending on your level of consciousness. Because if you worship the cube, if you obey it, it folds you in. But if you understand it, study it, if you transcend it, then it becomes base for your inner temple, the grounding you need to rise. The black becomes gold, density becomes discipline, the prison becomes passage, and suddenly the same force that bound you becomes the one that tests you, sharpens you, evolves you, and that's the Saturn secret the ancients knew. This force rules form, but it doesn't own your soul unless you let it. In the hexagon, it's a sigil, a signature of pattern, of stability, but also of ritual, geometry, resonance. And when it appears in the sky, it's not just weather, it's a reminder that there's order underneath chaos. That the gods still leave fingerprints on the planets. And maybe that's what the elites, secret societies, the architects of false reality understand. They use Saturn not to worship life, but to control it. They use the cube to box in the soul. And if you don't awaken, you live in a grid of invisible walls, structured time, legal codes, contracts, belief systems, all Saturnian in flavor. And the only way out is through the rings, through the limitations, through the crucifixion of ego that Saturn demands, because only then can you reclaim your time, your karma, your sovereignty, and become what you were before the cube closed in, a being of light who walks through form, but isn't bound by it. Saturn is a sick planet, sick in its eeriness, cold detachment, in the way it looms like a cosmic warden at the edge of the known, dressed in rings that look more like shackles than ornaments. Its storms are unnatural, its pole capped with a perfect hexagon that defies the chaos of nature, spinning like some interdimensional symbol of containment, of binding. It radiates a low-frequency hum, eerie and almost synthetic, like a broadcast from a forgotten machine. Its moons are strange too, one shaped like the Death Star, another oozing black liquid, and the whole system feels more like a prison complex than a playground of creation. No wonder the ancients linked it to time, karma, control, and death. Saturn doesn't warm you, it watches you, governs the limits of matter, and punishes anything that tries to move too freely. It's the architect of law, but also the executioner. In its orbit is the cold truth of mortality, the weight of form, the trap of cycles, and that's exactly why occultists, secret societies, and spiritual traditions all gave it dominion over structure, suffering, and spiritual testing. Humanfluence, out.